This is Allie.
And this is David.
And you're listening to For the Culture.
I tell them take a picture, man. It'll last longer. Hit the gas on them. Hit a dance on them. Take no chance on them. Get the cash on them. Flip it fast on them. Take off the mask on them. Show the world who you are.
So we're going to start off today with something positive. We want to be happy to the new start. So we're going to talk about Jay-Z and Diddy's new app that points out Black businesses in your local area. And that's pretty dope. It does remind me of an episode of, was it The Good Wife? Where this business owner, she thought that when that app got created, they started targeting her area just because she had a Black business.
Right.
That's immediately what I thought about. But it's a good note. It's a good note. Let's start on this good note.
I don't think that there's going to be very many people going out to get this app to find Black businesses to harass.
Oh, okay. So you're saying they won't do it for a negative thing. Like, it'll be positive.
Right. I don't think anybody's going to take the time out to do that.
I don't know.
Oh, you never know.
Yeah.
But I find it hard that somebody's going to go download this app.
Yeah.
Get on the app and then go find people to harass. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's possible, of course.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be some mass thing.
Okay. So what do you think it will turn into? In terms of like positivity and helping?
Well, I got a few questions about it, actually.
Oh, okay.
Well, this came from an XXL magazine interview that Peter A. Berry did that described this from a GQ magazine article that Diddy did. Pretty much saying that they're creating an app that is going to help locate Black-owned businesses. Now, how do you get on this list is the question. How do you get in the app as a Black-owned business? What type of support do you have to get on this app is my question.
Oh, that is not what I thought you were going to say.
No, what do you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say, how do you qualify as Black?
Well, you know what? That's another question. How do you qualify as Black? I mean, do you have to answer like a Black quiz to be considered? Does somebody come by and check you out? They do a Ancestry.com. How do they know what a Black-owned business is?
I think whatever criteria like the Small Business Association uses to qualify, like what's a minority-owned business, what's a woman-owned business, whatever those official criteria, I think that's probably what they'll go with. Not
okay,
not a bad
but
test.
I also don't want to get on this app and then go to find a catfish place that it's not open because they're out of fish. I don't want that either. Like I want to make sure that the businesses on there are reputable as well.
Yeah. So then it might have a Yelp like feature where you can grade it, like grade the food. Well, you were just talking about food, so that's why I said that. But whatever the service is, you can grade it. So it might have that aspect on it too.
Okay, well that would actually help out also. Yeah. Because if I can't, and how much is it going to cost? Is it going to be like Tidal where it's $25 a month?
Oh, I'm not downloading that.
I'm not either.
Because isn't Yelp free? Yelp is free.
Yelp is really free. Yelp is overly free.
Yeah. So I'm like, if I can get something similar, granted it's not the same motive that they're doing, but it's a similar app.
And I hate to say this, but we do know that the moment this app hits the market, Yelp is going to have a Black-owned businesses section. You know they are.
Yeah.
Yelp is going to have it. Google Maps is going to have it. It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't do it on their own.
But then we could look at that as a good thing, because once we make our own noise, everybody else has to notice and make a change to,
Oh, yeah, I completely
I was going to
agree.
say cater, but adhere to the different audiences that they have. So I think that's a good thing.
I completely agree. And, there's some people out there would say, well, if they take it, again, it's cultural appropriation. And again, that's not cultural appropriation. But I think that it's a really good idea. It's an app that I will download. I will try it out. I will pay my money. Actually, I probably would pay my money at least once a month. Or one time to see how it is, give them some money for my business because I want to try it out. Like, I tried out Tidal. I just didn't like paying $30-something a month for music that I can get through Spotify for less than 10.
Well, I thought that the reason Tidal had that subscription is because you couldn't get their music from other sources.
Right, but I'm not paying. First of all, I'm not a huge Beyonce fan, and I love Jay-Z though. But
ooh, the Beehive's gonna come for you.
But I don't have to be a big Beyonce fan. I don't. I personally don't, because I am a man who doesn't listen to Beyonce.
Yeah.
But if I listen to Hove, or if I can appreciate what Beyonce's done, I can still like her. But I'm not going out and going to her concert.
Advocate.
I'm not going to go to her concert.
Oh, so this new concert, you're not getting tickets?
There's no reason for me to go. I don't want to go. Even though I love Hove, I don't have a need to want to go to a concert.
Yeah.
To a Beyonce and Jay-Z concert. Because the tickets are going to be out of this world.
Yeah.
Then you got to find a way to get there. Then parking's going to be crazy. Then trying to get back. Then all the other people.
Yeah.
And we're in Europe, so then we have to deal with the language barriers of the people around us.
Yeah.
It's just...
Too much?
It's too much.
It's not worth it?
It's not worth it.
Oh, okay.
I am going to the Bruno Mars concert, by the way, though.
Okay.
But I guess that kind of deflates itself. But anyway, what was I saying?
We were talking about Yelp. And then
Yelp, we get into black-owned businesses. We get into, I don't know.
Tidal.
Okay, yeah. Yep. The reason why, so Tidal, I don't listen to that much Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Now, or whoever else is
on Tidal.
Only on Tidal.
I don't know who else is.
I don't know who else is solely on Tidal. And like, I know that Apple Music has Taylor Swift, and I don't listen to Taylor Swift, so there's no reason for me to go that way.
Okay.
Most of the music I listen to is on Spotify. I like...
Sorry.
I also like all the playlists you get with Spotify.
Okay.
So with that, it's perfect for me.
Yeah.
My wife liked Tidal for the fact that she could get all edited music, because she doesn't like to listen to unedited music.
Yeah.
But for me, it doesn't matter. So I can find anything I need on Spotify.
Yeah.
And there's so many other devices and third-party things that work with Spotify that it makes it easy.
Okay. I feel you. But you said you're going to give this one a try. You're going to give this one a try.
I would give... Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give a black-owned business a try.
Okay.
I'm going to give a black-owned anything a try. Yeah. I mean, like a comedian. Like, Monique could come, and I might pay for the ticket. And I would see if it's something that I would like. And if I liked it, I would tell her I liked it. I would stand up and applaud.
Yeah.
But still stand by my gate and say that she did not deserve over $500,000.
Okay. In 2015, the U.S. Census reported that there were 2.6 million Black or African American owned firms nationally in 2012, which is up from 1.9 million from 2007. So we're doing big things. We're doing big things.
We are. Now that we know how to get a tax ID.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, without the education, there's nothing we can do. And as we get more education, the more people are educated on this, you'll see more black-owned businesses. Yeah. You'll see how people can take their skills and talents and turn them into something that will be able to be searchable on this app, so that we're able to bring them up as long as we bring it ourselves up.
Yeah. And then also it made me think about businesses that don't, those really, really small ones that, you know, their profits are probably less than 500,000. They're not getting that much play on general search engines like Google. Right. So at least here, where you're going and you're looking for that particular type of business, they will have more play. People will be able to see them more. So if you look at it in that way, I think that's also really good.
And then it depends on how you set yourself onto this app. Let's say that the app has a organization with them that puts people on the app for you. So now you don't have to pay for the website. You don't have to you don't have to find out how to get a website. Oh. You don't have to find out how to manage a website, because you can automatically work with this app who's going to do it all for you. Ooh. It's another form of your advertising.
And then maybe that's how the app can be free to the customers, because the businesses are paying the app to help them with advertising.
Right, but I wouldn't even want to do that. I wouldn't even want to charge the businesses anything. I would want to just have the advertisers pay for everything, because there's these mom and pops who can't come up with a certain amount of money to be onto the app until they're on the app and we can get people to go to them.
Okay, I see what you're saying. I was like, how are they supposed to make money if they're not charging? But you were like the advertisers.
Yeah, well, sponsorship pretty much pays for almost everything that you see.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think that it's out there. I think that the option is out there, because as you scroll through Yelp, you see advertisements.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So I think that's pretty good. So what else has happened in this last couple weeks? We have Toys R Us.
Wah, wah, wah.
It's
closing down. And there was this cute video with what's the guy that was on the Chappelle show that was like, I'm rich? Donnell
Hawkins.
No, Rollins.
Donnell Rollins.
Yeah.
Who's Donnell Hawkins?
I have no
idea. He's another
idea.
comedian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was like,
Rollins.
that sounds like a basketball player. But he was doing this video where they took the Toys R Us song, I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid, but they put it along this emo track, and he's walking around the store like hugging Jeffrey and like playing with all the toys, and he's just like so sad, and it was really funny. It was really funny. You gotta check it out.
I saw a different one where a guy just sings it, except he does it in minor. It's for musicians.
Yeah.
And so he plays it in minor and slows the tempo down, and it sounds awesome.
Yeah.
But it's for musicians. I mean, if you're not a musician, you really don't care too much about it.
Yeah.
Because of how he transposed it, but...
Because you can, from a musician's perspective, you understand where he was going
right.
with it. Okay.
And you get the feel from it.
Yeah.
And he even changes back over the major part of it and then goes back to minor. So it's really good.
Right over my head. Right over my head. But what I liked is that Amazon is actually going to buy most of the stores in the U.S. to use as more retail space. And I was like, wow. Amazon is they really kicking indoors. They've really taken over
and
the
they're
world.
going to kick indoors fast. And it's so crazy about that because I saw a lot of videos on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram of people going into Toys R Us after they announced that they were going to be closing. Mm-hmm. They're only giving 5% off. They're not even giving that much. Yes. They're only giving the most. The one I saw the most off I've seen is 10%.
They need to have a closeout. Everything
they
must
don't
go.
Need to. 50%. Everybody knows they're closing, and they probably will sell the rest to Amazon.
I don't know.
But Amazon sells everything in their
stores. Yeah.
So if they sell it to Amazon, make it into one of their Amazon Basics deals.
Yeah.
Amazon makes money on it, and then they sell it to them, so they make money on it.
I don't know, because to me, it's more about the retail space than it is about the products that are in there. For when it comes to Amazon perspective, it's more about the retail space.
Right. But I don't think, even with the retail space, I don't think Amazon is prepared at this moment to get that retail space and fill it as when they get it.
Really?
No.
Well, because when they did the deal with Whole Foods, as they were moving on their track to go into groceries and to deliver groceries, they already had their plan of the next track that they wanted to take. So that's why they bought Whole Foods. So I feel like there's a plan in the works. Well,
with the plan, that makes sense. But when you're talking about space, you still have to have something to put in that space. And if they were just to buy 240 buildings across the country, up from what they have at this moment right now, there's nothing to fill that space with, because they're saying they're going to buy it. Which means that right now that stuff is somewhere if it was ready to go in. Okay. So why not just take these things here and then sell them at a discount on your website after getting them from a discount from Toys R Us, and then you empty out the space and get it ready for whatever else you want to have.
I don't know. I don't see that going well logistically, because Amazon relies heavily on machinery to inventory everything. And I don't think Toys R Us is like that. I'm pretty sure they rely, mainly on people. So what would they do to keep that process flowing the way that they're used to?
Well, even with all these stores, they're going to need people. And so let's say we take 20 to 30% of the workers from Toys R Us to continue to do your job. Yeah. But now you don't have to worry about retail side of it. You don't have to worry about sales. You don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to do is the logistics side. So I want you to come in here, count every single thing in this store, write it down, put it in the computer, and then get it boxed up. Okay. And you can have them on, because you're going to need more jobs. It's going to create more jobs, and for them to purchase all these stores, even if it's just retail space, it's going to create jobs. Okay. And why not use the people who that job is coming from?
Yeah, I like that.
And and Jeff Bezos seems like more of a humane businessman than most of the other ones that we see in the news. So I think that I could see him doing that more.
Yeah, I agree. I wish that they could do a vlog of everything that's going on, like in terms of like the clean out and the business meetings that they're having, just so that, because all we're doing is speculating where they are in terms of their timeline about taking over these retail spaces and what they're going to do. Like, all we're doing is speculating. But if we had some video, we could actually see and get an inside look onto
there's somebody in there doing that. There's somebody in there vlogging. Oh, yeah.
No, I feel like
they're going to write their book.
an NDA. They're like, whatever happens here, this stays here.
Oh, they absolutely do.
Yeah.
But if you wait 10 years and it goes out, then
10 years.
you'll get your book.
Okay.
Or it'll probably be words floating in the air, but it'll be a book. I don't know where it will be
that
with technology.
would be so cool.
I know, right? Just words
in the movies. Yeah.
And I wouldn't want them just to be there. I want them to write in the sky as I'm reading them.
Here's why I don't like that. It's never as accurate because you know, like when you go to pay for something and you have the little register, not the register, like where you slide your card and then you have to sign with the little pen or with your finger. It never comes out as accurate.
We're talking about technology in 2018, but we're speculating on technology in 2028. It'll be better then.
I hope so. I really hope you're right. I really do because I like how fast technology is progressing and all these predictions that they're making. Like, I want to be here to see it.
I think about the flip phone you had 10 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, think about the flip phone you had 10 years ago. Or the BlackBerry.
My first cell phone.
Or the BlackBerry.
A T-Mobile flip phone. Oh my goodness.
With the Razor?
No. I didn't even have enough money for the Razor. It was this cute little blue phone. I got it for my 16th birthday. Oh my gosh, I remember this. It was this blue flip. You know what? I'm looking up to see if I can find the name of it. It was this cute little blue flip phone. Oh my gosh, I thought I was hot stuff with this cell phone. Oh my goodness.
Oh man, I had that little Nokia phone that you could put all the pieces on it, light up, or all these different things would happen.
Oh, so you could play Snake?
Yeah, that's how I could when I first got my first cell phone. Then I think after that, I went to Korea and I had a flip phone. Yeah. But I remember my first smart-ish phone was the Sidekick.
Okay.
With the flip out screen, not the slide up screen, the flip out. So I had the first one.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe I found it. It's this blue Motorola phone. That's what I had.
That's what we had in Korea. That's the exact phone I had in Korea.
That was my first
I had
phone.
a red one though.
Okay. That was my first phone. Oh my goodness. Bring it back memories.
Oh man. The first phone I bought myself was a Sprint SCP 6200. I'll never forget it.
I don't know.
It's this little silver skinny phone and it was the world's thinnest phone at the time.
Oh, at the time. I was like,
yeah.
What?
It had a green screen or an orange screen. And you had to type with either T9 or from button to button. And I remember, and I got one of my best friends through that because me and him had the exact same phone and we saw each other in the in our common area. I was like, yo, we saw each other. We're like, yeah.
We're going to be best friends from now on because we got the same taste.
And then they actually even featured this phone in the movie with Taye Diggs and Sanaa Lathan. Brown Sugar, yes. They featured a phone.
On the first try.
They featured his phone in that one.
I thought you were going to say in the museum because there's a technology museum that has things from 10, 15 years ago. And I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm not that old. Why are the things that I had as a teenager in a museum already? What is this mess? What is this?
That is crazy. I remember. I didn't even go to my my reunion.
I didn't either.
I didn't go to my reunion.
Good.
I might go to the next one.
Now.
I might go to the next one, but I definitely didn't go to the last one.
It's funny because even though I'm not on Facebook, I was like, man, everybody keeps in contact through Facebook anyway. What's the point of having a reunion? Because everybody knows. Because usually when you see it in the movies, when they have reunions, it's like, oh, I've been doing this, and I've been doing that, and this person, they used to be the jock, and then now they're not, or the beauty queen, now she's all like ugly. but it's like if you could see everybody, then there's no element of surprise.
Right.
Surprise. You said your next one? There's gonna be a next one?
Yeah, there's one every 10 years.
Really?
Yeah. There's a reunion every 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Then some people get anxious and have one at 15.
Because they think people aren't going to make it?
I don't know.
I was like, oh my gosh, do they think people aren't going to make it?
People get anxious to have one at 15 years. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
I found my phone. That was a Sprint 6200. I'm going to show it to you so you can see it.
Oh my goodness.
I had that phone. It was a green screen or an orange screen.
It
was awesome. Hey, that was the phone. So what else we got going on this week? So let's talk about Blackish.
Oh yeah, the episode that wouldn't air because of, what did they say, discrepancies or culture,
right?
Culture, creative differences.
Creative differences.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I like Blackish, and I like what they're trying. I shouldn't say trying to do, because they do it. They talk about topics that pertain to the Black experience in America, and where they have a trouble is that they're on one of the largest networks, ABC. So their hands are going to be tied. What I liked about the Carmichael show was they pushed it a little bit further. Mm-hmm. Even though they were on NBC.
Right.
You know, they still push it a little bit further. And so I can understand why, yes, they have a little bit of creative freedom. They have a little bit of leeway. There's always going to be that red tape where you have to think about the majority of your audience. You got to think about your advertisers. You got to think about your executives. There are so many people, so many, ideas or red tape that's going to be involved. And it's like, I get it. I understand. They wanted to send out a message, but unfortunately, their hands were tied.
And that's my question. So their hands were tied, but they still aired an episode about Donald Trump being elected. Mm-hmm. They aired an episode about it wasn't police violence. It was about they did kneeling already once before. Or no, they did kneeling for the flag. They did that once before, but I don't think they did it this way.
Okay. And what was different about this particular episode?
I have no idea. That's what I'm saying. I feel like they had something before about the flag and the way they and the reason why people were protesting. Mm-hmm. But this one has to do with football. Then I went and researched to see if ABC had any ties with football, which I did not see.
Because football usually comes on Fox, right?
NBC, Fox,
okay.
ESPN.
Okay.
But it used to come on ABC. Then they send it over to ESPN. Mm-hmm. So are they vying for another NFL position so they can get in and have NFL on their network?
But doesn't Disney own ESPN?
Yes.
So it's still ABC.
It is, but it isn't. You can say Disney, but we're talking about ABC itself, because sponsors are there for ABC. They're not really there for Disney. Okay. So because you're not gonna have a beer sponsor for Disney. You'll have a beer sponsor for the ABC shows that are on. Okay. So I think that it's more compartmentalized than that, because what's her name? What's the show? Kenya Barris. Kenya Barris is the one who puts on the show, and they had filmed the show, they had everything ready, and then they came in at the 12th hour and was like, I don't know if we're gonna put this one
on. Kenya himself.
She wanted to put it on. Yeah. And then she was in communication with the network, and together they said we couldn't come up with a plan to put this out the right way. Okay. And so they probably wanted some leeway, or they wanted them to put a disclaimer at the beginning of the episode that she may not want to do. I'm speculating. I don't know for sure. Yeah. But we know that they filmed it. They were ready to put it out, and we're going to get a leak. I'm saying for here, probably within the next 6 months, we'll have a leak of this episode.
You think like employees at all these companies are just going to...
Oh, yeah. Somebody's going to get fired and they're going to leak it. Oh, you're firing me? Okay.
I got something for that. And speaking of leakers, Christopher Wiley, the whistleblower from the whole Cambridge Analytica Facebook thing, him and his wild pink hair.
Okay, let's explain what that is to people.
Okay, so even though Facebook has known about Cambridge Analytica's tactics for the past couple years, it's only now coming out to the forefront. So Cambridge Analytica, they are a marketing company. They're based in the UK. And what they did was they told people, hey, sign up for this quiz, we'll pay you X amount of money. And, people like things like that. So they signed up for the quiz, and then in the terms and conditions, Cambridge Analytica had access to their Facebook information, but it also gave them access to those people's friends. So now they can use that information to push certain things, push certain agendas. And what they ended up doing, well, allegedly, because they're still saying allegedly, what they ended up doing was using that information to sway the American election of 2016. And so that's why a lot of people are up in arms, because they feel like it's a violation of privacy, and, you know, they shouldn't be duped like this, and, you know, we trusted you, and Cambridge Analytica.
Well, I want to talk about Facebook.
Okay.
So we're saying that this information on Facebook is information that people put out publicly anyway.
Yeah.
So you said what you said. You did what you did. Now somebody is using that to market to you, or to sway an election, or to sell that information to somebody else. That you, as a person, signed up for on your computer, should have read the terms and conditions, and then persisted in saying whatever it is you said.
But doesn't Facebook have an option where my information can only be seen by, you know, the people that I'm friends with? Like, why does this other company now have to step in and use that information for their agenda? Why is that okay? Because
even with you putting private, that's not private saying that you have a little private space that you can say whatever you want. It's not a journal. It makes it private so that people that you really don't want to see it don't have an easy access to it. Anything you put on Facebook is public forum. Whatever set of words you put on Facebook can be searched in Google, and they can find your exact page. You can find someone's exact page. If they've ever made a comment or they ever made a post that way. Okay. Because that's how Facebook works. You put something on the internet, it's out there for everybody. If you didn't want to put it on the internet, if you didn't want it out there for everybody, you shouldn't have put it on the internet.
So if me as a consumer, I'm going and thinking, oh, I'm using the privacy settings, that means only my 20 friends are going to see it. It's not okay for me to have confidence that my stuff is going to be private?
Not if you read the terms and conditions.
Okay. But what about it affecting my friends? So I'm the one who signed up for the quiz. I got the money. And now they're accessing my friends' information?
No, they're not accessing your friends' information. They're accessing the information that your friends allow you to know. So you have to think about it like that. Okay. So they're not going into my page through you. What they're doing is what I've said to you, they have access to. That's still in public forum.
Okay. You're not gonna side with the consumer on this.
Not at all, because you signed up for this. People. That's why I hate when those articles comes out like, "Are you using Facebook Messenger? Look how much information you're giving away." If you use Facebook, you more than likely have over 80 third-party apps that have access to everything you do. Let's say you go with an Android phone. You have we have people with Android phones that like to get different keyboards, third-party keyboards. That third-party keyboard, every single thing you type on that keyboard is a data stream going back to that company. So let's say your banking information. Let's say you're signing into your work website and you're using the keyboard on that phone. Yeah, all that information goes back to those people.
Oh, wow.
And you don't know who developed this keyboard. You don't know who developed that app. It could be a 42-year-old white man sitting in his underwear in his grandmother's basement. Yeah. And he has access to every single thing you put out there.
You typed in there.
The reason why is because you accepted the terms and conditions when you signed up for it. Yeah. And that's why everyone makes you click that button now. Yeah. You click the button and you move forward. We've gotten so upset by this button that we don't even read it. Yeah. Or we just make sure that there's no check marks in it so we don't get emails later. But all they're doing is sliding it by you. So if you didn't read the terms and conditions, I think it's on you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So I'm guessing you're not going to give up your Facebook then.
Hell no. I have no reason to, because the things that I don't want to put out there, I don't.
You don't. Okay.
If I want to keep something private, I can write it on paper. I can say it to my wife. Yeah. I can do those things. Yeah. I don't have to put it in public forum for people to see. Yeah. And then think that it has some type of veiled sense of privacy. Yeah. It doesn't work.
Okay. Well, I'm always thinking Big Brother's watching, so I don't even have these problems. I don't have these problems.
Well, I mean, they are, and you see evidence of that when you and I can have a conversation right now. We can have our conversation now. Open up my phone, go to Facebook, and in the ads on Facebook, it will be whatever we were talking about.
Wait. You mean if we were texting each other?
No, I'm talking about we're having a conversation right now. And if I were going to Facebook, and sometimes you'll see it. People have seen it.
Wait. Like us conversing out loud right now, you're gonna see ads about that.
Let's see what our sponsors' ads are today.
Oh my goodness. Am I gonna have to stop coming over here?
We got Behringer microphones.
But you were looking that up though.
No, I haven't. That's these microphones that we had that I've never researched these microphones.
But you had to order them, right?
Yeah, but over a month ago.
Yeah, but it's still...
These are new ads. These ads weren't here earlier. Earlier, I had ads for T-shirts and things like that.
Oh, my goodness.
We're doing our podcast right now. Now, I've been doing a lot of talking about podcasts and doing a lot of things about what the parent group, Mecca Entertainment, and the production. So, Revio popped up, which is a video powerhouse software that allows me to create ads for my businesses.
Oh, wow.
And it's from research and things like that. So you're always going to find different ads.
All right.
And we don't know where to get all the information. It could be because we did say it, or it could be because we typed it in and deleted it. Yeah. Because again, whatever you type,
they see it.
Goes to somebody.
I guess I got to take my tin hat off because I'm not protected.
At all.
Not protected. But Facebook is petty though, because they suspended Christopher Wiley's account over this whole Cambridge Analytica thing. Like,
you tell me you wouldn't?
That's petty.
Would you? If somebody worked for you and they snitched on your company, even if you personally didn't know anything about the situation, but it was drastic to your company, it was an issue with your company, but he still had access to your product.
But here's the thing. What does my product stand for? Aren't they always about you being able to share your opinion and share your thoughts? Isn't that what they're about?
No.
Oh, so
it was, think about where Facebook came from. It was a connection app so some guy could get a date. Period. And that's where Facebook came from. It created this whole world of technology, this, that, and the third.
Everything. You said connections though.
It like I said, connections, yes. But they're not in the business of connections. Nobody's in the business of how you connect with your friends. They're in the business of data and information that I can utilize by how you converse with your friends, how you communicate with your friends. It's not about the connection with them. It's about the money. It's about the bottom line. Yeah. Because think about it. If I know that you greet all your friends in a certain way, then I know that all your friends seem to eat the same type of foods. Yeah. And then y'all all live in a certain area. Yeah. Then I'm going to advertise a new spot that y'all would like in your area. Yeah. Period. Yeah. And that's what I'm selling. I'm selling that to the people who want to advertise with me. I have a great list of people who would love your product. Yeah. Here it is. That's what Facebook is.
Okay. So they're not about, the First Amendment and freedom of speech.
Man, that's behind the guise of their contract. Because you can be about those things, because without those things, then your business goes away. Yeah. Period. Your business goes away without those things. So without the freedom of speech, and if the government was controlling everything we said, everything we typed, we wouldn't have a Facebook. Yeah.
They still petty though. They still petty for shutting his account down. How are we supposed to get updates? How are we supposed to get updates about what he's doing? Does he have a Twitter? Like, how are we supposed to stay updated?
He ain't got no Instagram. Because Facebook owns that too.
And I think they own WhatsApp too, right?
Do they own WhatsApp? I don't know if they own WhatsApp. I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah. I would not put it past them at all.
Oh, man.
What else we got going on this week?
There's a bunch of reboots that are they're just in the talks. I don't know if they're going to be final or what, but I think that some of them are good. Some of them, they just need to leave it alone. So they were talking about Fresh Prince, The Parkers, Martin, Soul Food, and One-on-One.
Now, here's a question about that, because the same list came from a podcast I listened to called The Read. And they brought all those exact same ones up as what if this happened? What if that happened? You think that these are actual possible reboots, or you think that people ran with their conversation in that podcast?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's kind of like the chicken and the egg kind of a question.
Right.
I don't know, because usually that's how things go viral, where it's like it starts off from one thing, somebody picks it up as truth, and then runs with it, and then everybody jumps on the bandwagon. So I don't know.
And but with this one, it's funny because the podcast I was listening to with Chriselle and Kid Fury, what it did was they made fun of it. They said they did not want these things
for any of them. Oh wow!
They kind of saw a way that they could do Fresh Prince, but even then they were joking. But I wouldn't watch them.
Okay.
Personally, that's me. I wouldn't watch them. Would you?
I liked the one where they were gonna make Fresh Prince a cartoon because I feel like with that, it's a little like you can bring it down. So instead of like a 13 to 17 year range that they're looking at, the audience can be younger, so then they can do more with the characters. The other ones, I think they've had their time. You know, they were really focused on the late 90s and the early 2000s and what was going on then. And I think those shows would be a little too slow for what's happening today. Like, shows are really fast paced now. They move on. People need to see things happening quick. People lose their attention so quickly. I don't think that the storylines that happened back then could keep up with today's standards.
And I agree. I don't know if that, because look at Martin. Martin was just a relationship in France, and you could put any situation in that. That's essentially
what kind of things were they going through, and how many things happened in one episode? You know, like usually only something was happening to one character. Whereas today, when we have an ensemble cast, something is happening to everyone and the scenes are moving quicker. You know, like take New Girl, for example, or Big Bang Theory. Like, I don't know. To me, they just move faster.
Right. But I mean, it wouldn't come back in the exact same writers and the exact same form. They would have to change it for today. Yeah. And I just personally do not want to see Martin back on TV on the small screen. I definitely don't want to see what was her name?
Oh, the Parkers.
No. Oh. And Martin. Not
Tisha Campbell?
Yeah, Tisha. I do not want to see Tisha Campbell.
Why not? She was good in My Wife and Kids.
Yeah, on My Wife and Kids. Well, how long ago was that now?
I don't know.
It was like 10 years ago almost.
You're probably right, because I know that those kids are grown up now.
Like, have you seen her recently?
Tisha Campbell?
Yeah.
She's going through a lot. Her and Dwayne are getting a divorce.
Okay.
They going through something.
Let them go through their thing, but she doesn't need to go through it on my TV. I don't want to see her. I don't want to see her wrinkled, light-skinned self on my TV.
Oh my goodness. So now people can't age. Now you can't watch old people on your TV.
No, I love old people. Look at Tashina Arnold. She can be on there.
Oh, because she's aged beautifully.
Thank you.
You caught me.
You caught
me up.
Now, if we were to switch out Tisha with Nicole Ari Parker. There we go. There we go. Nicole Ari Parker has aged well. Yeah. I can't even think of who else could even be in that role. But I do not want to see Tisha Campbell on my TV. Oh my goodness. I think Martin would be good as a grandparent on a Martin reboot. Yeah. As a grandparent that comes in and does little goofy things and he leaves. Yeah. And then they have a new comedian come out and be Martin. Ooh, like a Jay Farrell.
Oh, Jay Farrell. I was gonna say Carmichael. What's it? I can't remember his first name.
Jared Carmichael.
Jared is his first name.
He won't do it.
What? You don't think so?
No. Because he quit his show because he wanted to.
Yeah, but we were talking about that offline. And it was because you were saying that his show got to a certain level of success and it wasn't something that he could handle. So if he's starting a new project, it's going to start from the bottom. So...
Not a project named Martin. Oh. A project named Martin with those people tied to it. It's starting off on it. Everybody's looking for it to fail. Everybody's looking for it to fail. Oh, so
you just want to throw Jay Farrell on there?
No, because Jay Farrell is somebody who is loved right now by all people, white, black, Mexican, other, Asian, everything. Everyone loves Jay Farrell. Yeah. And I think that he could be a comedian trying to make his way with his fiance, wife, girlfriend, whatever it may be. And he could be Martin's son. He could be Martin's nephew. Yeah. And I think that would change the dynamic of it if they were to do a Martin reboot.
Okay.
And I could see that, and I could like that. And
You used to be in sales, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because you're over here convincing me, and I'm like, this has happened before. I think it was with the Amazon checking thing.
Yeah, I think it
where
was.
I started out one way, and then by the end of the conversation, I was like, why am I now persuaded? Like, what
So
is
I
going
think
on?
Martin
Okay.
would be a really good one.
Okay.
But, and even though I don't want to see it, I really would not want to watch it.
Yeah.
But I think Martin would be a good one. I do not want to see the Parkers. I do
That's
not
because
want
you
to see
have a
them.
vendetta against.
No, I don't. I don't want to
Monique.
see. There's not a character in the Parkers that's still out right now that I could say that I want to see.
Yeah, they don't have any longevity. I understand what
Not
you're
at
saying.
all.
Yeah.
And Andale is gone too, so it's like,
Oh yeah, she passed away, right? Yeah.
So I mean, I don't want to deal with that.
Well, if I had to pick one that I absolutely would not, it would be Soul Food.
Why not?
I liked it at the time. I liked the movie and I liked the show that came afterwards. But I'm tired of that storyline where it's a black family getting together for a reunion. Either it's a happy occasion because somebody's getting married, or a sad occasion because the patriarch or the matriarch of the family died, and somebody's sleeping with somebody and somebody's coming out of jail. It's like the same storyline over and over again.
Right.
And I'm very happy where we are in black art, that we've seen differences now. Like now we have sci-fi, now we have comedy, we have smart comedies, we have dry comedies. Like we have so much variety now. I don't want to take a step back. So that would be,
I can see
Soul
that.
Food would be on the bottom of my list. Yeah.
I can see that. Bottom of my list, 101. No. Bottom of my list is Parker's, then 101, then Soul Food, then Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, then Martin.
Oh wow. Okay.
So Martin's on top, followed by Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I could see a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where it'd be like they did with Boy Meets World. They have Girl Meets World.
Yeah.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air be Will's daughter.
Yeah.
That moves out there because Will is on the road doing something big, and she doesn't like boarding school, so she's gonna go live with her aunt, or no, let's put in her uncle. Let Carlton be. Carlton be the main character in it. Let Carlton be the main, and we have Will's daughter, who's a lot like Will.
Yeah.
But then she has a little bit of hint of Hillary to her,
Yeah.
And then Carlton already has a daughter or a son or something, and that's more like Ashley. You could build, and Nikki's around because like Nikki. Like what happened to Nikki?
Yeah.
Like Nikki had to grow up somewhere, and he's gonna be around the same age or a little bit older.
Yeah.
He can be the older uncle, just got out, or older cousin actually.
Yeah.
He's got a good job, he's doing everything in Bel-Air, or he's on the news also with Hillary.
Yeah.
They're on the same news show. She's an executive producer. He's the on-air talent. See, stuff like
Look
that
at
would work.
you.
See, but that's what we talking about. See, those shows I would watch.
Yeah.
And then let it just be that. Let's not add in all these other aspects. Let it just be a simple show that we can fall in love with and have fun with.
Yeah.
But every time people do a black show right now, they want to throw the whole kitchen sink of diversity in there.
Yeah.
So we got a black mother married to a white Jewish man. They got together during Jim Crow, and the son is a transsexual. The daughter is heterosexual, cisgendered. They got a cousin who just got out of jail. Why do we need all this? Let's just have a family.
Yeah.
No matter how that family is made up, let it just be a family. If it's 2 men, 2 women, whatever it may be in the family, let it just be that, and quit adding as much diversity as you can in every episode.
Trying to stuff the diversity in there.
Let's try to check the box.
I feel you. Well, speaking of diversity, the 2020 census is going to allow for people who are of black origin to respond in different ways. Instead of just checking off black or just checking off African American, they're going to have choices. They're going to be more countries. There's going to be an option to opt out of answering. So I think that's pretty dope that they're understanding that the makeup of America is changing. It's changing on the daily, yearly. And so giving people an option to identify who they are, I really like that idea.
I mean, I like it. I like the fact that you'll have more option to do things, but what I don't like about it is if lessening the amount of people who check a certain box means less money or less resources for that group of people in the community. So instead of 20,000 people clicking the black option, black non-Hispanic option, and now that we have black African descent, black Spanish descent, so all this spread out, dude, is where does the money go to? Does the money go to black non-Hispanic, or does it go to, or does it include all the other options you can choose? And then how does that break down the diversity? Is it another way for people not of color? I'm gonna say, I guess that's the most PC way of saying it. People not of color to say that no, we're still the majority, because there's all these sub minorities out there. So until there's no way that they'll ever catch up with the majority of white, or are they going to change that? Is it going to be white Irish descent? Is it going to be white Polish descent? Is it going to be like that? If that's the case, okay, it makes sense. Let people choose between 50 different options on their census.
So, but with that, is it going to be going back how many generations? Like, for example, I'm first generation American, so if they have an option on there for me to put Guyanese American, to me it would make sense, because that's only one generation away from me. But if my family has been in America for 6-7 generations, I don't know if I'm still holding on to that culture.
Right, it's subjective. It comes down, because there's some people who came here in their first generation and they won't check that box. They're American. And they're gonna pick other because they're American. Then there's people who have ancestors who dated back as free men that got off on the ships, and they're gonna be people to say, you know what, African American or Kenyan American,
because they took the genealogy test.
They did the AfricanAncestry.com. This is not a plug for AfricanAncestry.com, but if it was, we would expect that check. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
But I think that if we have all those options, we just need to make sure that it is level across the board.
Yeah. Okay. So equality. All right. I can agree with that.
Because there's been so much uproar about this census anyway. About the person who is supposed to be running the census.
Because it's getting expensive.
It's getting expensive, and the person who did it believes that I'm not gonna speculate, because he has a history with dealing with black communities in his history. And I can't really define exactly what that means at this moment. I'll come back next episode and give specifics, but we have an issue with that right now.
Oh, okay. So he might be a little biased in how he handles things. That's unfortunate.
So this week we have seen the marches, we have seen the protests, we have heard the speeches. We are, the children of our country are standing up for something. United. It doesn't matter what race. It doesn't matter what sexuality. Everybody's standing together. Of course, with every movement, there will be factions. So there's the people who are looking at it for their stance as well. So they have the Black Lives Matter group, and that group who are saying that as black people, we still have this, and this to go through. Let's look at this as well. Then you might have feminist groups who are saying, we have this, and this to go through. So, but at the same time, everybody is still moving forward towards this one goal of peace. And that, I don't like how subjective that word is. Now, peace isn't subjective, but the use that they want in how they want to implement it. Because we don't know. Are they saying we don't want to have any guns? Are we saying this? Instead of just protesting and marching, we need to also come up with solutions. And that's where that's where I think we fall short a lot. We always we yell at the top of our lungs, we cry, we fight, but then when it's time to come up with a solution, we pass the ball to the people who've been making the same solutions for years.
But I think it's a start. I think that this is a start, because a lot of people are surprised that these teenagers are gathering together and banding for a positive change. And it's getting the conversation going. And then maybe somebody's dad is one of those policymakers that have been in there for a long time. They've been affected personally by the tragedies that have been happening. And it starts a domino effect of real change. So we never know.
Have you heard any of the speeches? Have you watched any of the
so I just caught a small glimpse of the March for Our Lives speech with D'Angelo McDade, and a lot of people were comparing him to MLK, and I was like, okay, I can see where
I don't like that.
where they were going with that, but I feel like let's just allow him to be himself in this moment, what he's standing for, because he was a young man from Chicago. I can't say was because he's still here with us. He is a young man from Chicago, and unfortunately Chicago does have a high level of violence, of gun violence, and so he has experienced these things firsthand. And so that's why this movement meant something to him, and you could hear it in his voice. He was like, listen, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, but I think with the people comparing him to Martin Luther King is because he spoke like Martin Luther King. He fashioned his speech like Martin Luther King. He waited for the applause like Martin Luther King. He separated the words so that people thought he was Martin Luther King. and he had a dream.
Yeah.
And his dream was that people thought that he sounded like Martin Luther King.
What? You're saying that was his agenda?
Yes. Want to know why? Because he knows that would get his words across a lot better than him just getting up there and speaking.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Okay. I'm not saying he's biting Martin Luther King's style. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that he knew without a doubt that if he spoke in a manner that people can recognize, especially they can recognize made a difference in the past, why can't it not make a difference now?
Okay.
I'm looking at it as a positive. People are going to say that I'm hating. People are going to say that.
Because that's how I took it. You were like, he purposefully fashioned his speech after MLK because he knew that MLK was an influencer. He's trying to make a difference. So let me attach my name or my style to somebody that's already done it before me so that mine could get out there. Automatically, I thought, oh, you trying to say he biting?
No, see, that's the thing. Think about it, though. Everyone has been talking about D'Angelo McDade.
Yeah.
How about the other kid that spoke right before him? Yeah. I don't remember his name. Yeah. I hate to say that. I don't remember his name. But he had a good speech. He had his words were strong and they had passion in them. But it wasn't the same as Mr. McDade. Yeah. Okay. So little baby Bishop over there did his thing, and he put out the words that he felt like needed to be put out in the way they need to be put out, so people were to follow.
Oh, you claiming it on his life now? He about to be a bishop.
He gonna be somebody bishop.
He did use 2 scriptures. Yes. And I was like, whoa, look at you.
And on top of that, I like the fact that people cheered when he brought up the scriptures.
I was like, yes. You better praise him. You better praise him. But that's the thing. The 2 scriptures that he used, I want to say one was Ephesians and one was 1 Peter. And they were about love. They were about love. And that's what Jesus' message was. It was about loving each other. So I really like that that's the route that he took.
Alex King is the other young man's name.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember Alex. Yeah. Like I know he gave a speech, but what has been shared on my Instagram and my Twitter that I've seen has just been D'Angelo McDade.
Okay. It happens.
So what else we got going on? We also have, as soon as my iPad turns off, as soon as I'm looking.
Well, Tiffany Haddish has a lot of new projects that are coming out. She's going to do The List, which is a Tyler Perry film. Ugh. She's doing The Last OG, which is a TBS show with Tracy Morgan. Okay. And she's doing Night School with Kevin Hart. So right now they're all in production. I've seen a advertisement for The Last OG. Honestly, I'm not really a fan.
I'm not a Tracy Morgan fan. So I remember Tracy Morgan when Tracy Morgan was... First, he was Hustle Man. I remember Hustle Man.
That wasn't him.
That was him.
That was not him.
That wasn't him?
It looked like him.
It looked just like him.
And I was getting ready to say, he reminds... Wait, Hustle... You know what? You're saying Hustle Man, and I'm thinking Bruh Man. Yeah. We were just talking about...
Yeah, Tracy Morgan played Hustle Man. I'm sitting there thinking like, I know it's Tracy Morgan.
You're right.
So yeah, Tracy Morgan. I remember he played. Cause I'm a saxophone player, and so when he did the episode of "Pick Up the Pieces" with the kazoo on the saxophone,
pick up the pieces. Yeah.
So that episode is when I found out who Tracy Morgan was. Yeah, and so he was on there. Then he had his show Third Rock. I mean,
I heard Third Rock was funny.
I heard it was too. I never watched it. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, it wasn't for me.
Was it Third Rock? Wait, it was Third Rock, right?
Yeah. No.
No, Third Rock was aliens that lived there.
Yeah, which was a good show. I did.
It was
like
that was a good show. Yeah. I did watch that one.
Not Community. It's something Rock.
It's something Rock. 30 Rock.
30 Rock.
30 Rock. Yeah, so 30 Rock, and that was, and he was on that. And I remember when Tracy Morgan's stand-up comedy was dirty, like everything he was.
Oh, you mean it was like vulgar?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then for him to do these other things, and thank God that he was able to walk away from that car crash.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, brother. I don't really like your comedy.
Yeah. The show, it looked so forceful. Like they were trying really, really hard to bring him back and to use somebody that's in the spotlight right now to make this thing happen.
Right.
So the premise of the show, he was in jail for, I don't know, maybe like 15, 20 years. And he's coming out, and now the world is completely different. Technology is fast. You know, we don't use coins in the subway anymore. Like, so many things have changed, and now his ex-wife has moved on to a new guy. His kids are now, you know, high school age. They don't have anything to relate to him about because they haven't grown up with him.
Right.
And he's supposed to try to gain his footing back into his relationship with his family. And I'm just like, this could have been a movie. This does not need to be a show.
And I really don't want to see him do it. I want to see him try to be funny doing it. And I really don't. And there's another comedian that if that was the case,
that you would go for it, or you wouldn't want to see them in that role.
I cannot think of this guy's name right now, but he is hilarious. And he pretty much talks about when he was in prison. And I could see him coming out of prison, going into a TV show and doing that as a role. I think his name's like Ari Saeed or something like that.
Okay, so this person, you're saying that if they were to take up this role, that you could see it fitting for them because it's actually something that they experienced. Okay, I can see that, where it will have more authenticity to it. You can pull more, and there will be, you know, just basically more substance behind it.
Ali Sadiq is his name.
Okay. Yeah.
And actually, we'll probably put a little bit of his stand up right here, just so, and I'll let you hear it.
Yeah.
But he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And what he does is when he does his thing, it talks about how when he got out of prison.
Yeah.
And I can see him, but I know Tracy Morgan's never went to prison, so what relation will he? I mean, he might have people he known gone to prison, things like that. But at the same time, this guy lived it, and when he talks about it, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
And I could really see him on the other side of Tiffany Haddish.
Oh, okay. You think that they would have really good chemistry?
I think so, but I don't think that it would be something a lot of people want to see. Two darker skinned black people on TV.
What do you mean? We have Family Matters.
We have Family Matters because it was in the whole Cosby section. Like, these are things that Cosby said was, yeah, that's good. I approve it. Okay, put it on. If Cosby likes it, we like it.
Man, I'm not going to agree with you on that.
Cosby gave it the rubber stamp of approval.
I don't know.
If Cosby said he didn't want something on the air, it wasn't on the air.
I'm going to have to look that up. But when you were trying to find the name of that comedian, I was thinking about Get Hard with Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart, because you were like, oh, somebody that actually went to jail and like was now changing over. I was like, is he really going to bring Get Hard up? Is that what?
No,
is
that movie was horrible.
I liked it.
That movie was horrible. Now they were both comedians. They're both comedians and they're both funny, but even the premises in that were horrible.
They could have cut out about 30 minutes of it, like, because the movie was too long. In my opinion, there was a bunch of scenes that could have come out, but it was funnier than I expected it to be.
It was an upgraded version of Malibu's Most Wanted to me. And I didn't like it.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't like it.
Malibu's Most Wanted.
I didn't like Jamie Kennedy. I didn't like it. And
wow. That's really what you're going to compare it to?
Yes, because it was not funny. And it wasn't, I know it didn't do good at the box office. I think the first set of people saw it and they were like, yeah, I don't want to see it.
Oh my goodness.
Like, what was the Rotten Tomatoes score on that?
They got 29% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
But I heard Rotten Tomatoes was rigged anyway.
No, they were trying to rig it for a movie. And look, Black Panther still got 97%.
Okay. The film was released on March 27, 2015 to negative reviews, but it grossed over $111 million.
How much was the budget?
Oh. I don't know how much the budget was.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the budget
Yeah.
was. But what you trying to say? Like, oh, if the budget was $50 million, then it wasn't worth it?
Well, if they made the budget was $40 million.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I was close.
Yeah, the budget was $40 million. So across the whole world, they netted what 100? Or was it the box office was 111?
Yeah.
Wow, they
Yeah,
netted $71 million. That's nothing
for a movie.
Right, that's how much Robert Downey Jr. is getting paid for his next scene, his next next movie.
Wow.
Almost. Yeah.
Do you, Robert? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's another thing. People got all up in arms about how much the Black Panther cast got in their first movie. How everybody in there, because Chadwick Boseman got $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
And it was this whole big thing how they were saying that characters like Robert Downey Jr. in his last Avengers got $40 million, but he has done 5 movies already.
Yeah,
his first one he didn't even make 300 million or 300,000. I mean,
oh okay,
he didn't make 300,000.
Yeah, and
Chadwick Boseman came out the gate with 1 million. I don't like people trying to degrade what we do.
Yeah, as
us getting shafted.
Yeah.
If we do good work and we get good from it, let's celebrate
and
that.
Acknowledge that. Yeah.
And acknowledge it.
Yeah. Totally. So let's acknowledge Will and Jaden Smith for donating water to the Flint Public Schools. So unfortunately, Flint is still dealing with their lead water crisis that started April in 2014 when the local government decided, okay, we need to save some money. So instead of siphoning the water from the lake, we're going to use the local river water. And they're dealing with pipes that are over 100 years old. They're corroding, and it led to, poisoning of the community. And this was 4 years ago, and it's still going on today.
Yeah. And something to say about that is that Will and Jaden Smith, I'm not sure if it's just them or if it's the rest of the family as well. Because I remember on one post that Will Smith said that my family, saying the whole family. So I'm thinking it might be the whole family. But they're not just donating water. They're donating their water. They're donating the company that they created. And it's called Just Water. It's infused water. They have some plain water also, but it's made in biodegradable boxes, which is 82% recycled product.
Yeah.
That is amazing that somebody can start a business by donating that much.
Yeah. And
that's
wonderful.
Yeah.
It really is. And I'm hoping that by them doing that, it'll bring this crisis back into the news. It'll bring it back into people's minds, back into the forefront, so that something can get done. Because I don't understand why in America, like, we're supposed to be a first world country, why can't people have potable water?
Right.
Why not?
Well, look at Puerto Rico, which is America.
Yeah.
And they're still without power.
Yeah.
Still without power.
But
months.
I thought it was because of that whole contracting thing. Like, there were contractors that were charging an exponential amount of money.
But you gotta think though, if that happened in Kentucky, you think they still be without power?
No.
If that happened in New York, that happened in Washington D.C.,
yeah, it
would be without power.
Yeah.
Why is it that it's happening in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
One of our territories, which when you're born in Puerto Rico, you're an American citizen.
Yeah. Why
is it still no power there?
Yeah. I know. It really is a tragedy. It really is.
So, Allie, do you have any final words for this week?
What would I say? I'm glad we started off with a positive note. I'm glad we really did. It felt like we were being more upbeat, and I hope that there will be more news that's uplifting and positive that we can share.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything for a final note. I'm just going to tell everybody to go ahead and check us out. We are on iTunes at For The Culture. You can also find us on Podbean, For The Culture, and Instagram, _the_culture, and Facebook as well. Just come and find us. Ask us any questions. We'll try to respond. We'll try to put something on the air. If you have anything you would like us to discuss, let us know. And we are here for you. So we just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
And have a good day.